Good morning, park managers, and welcome back to Jurassic World Evolution 2. Now, a few people have asked me to make an enclosure for Coelophysis, so that's what we're going to do here today. And we're going to try and base it off the Walking of Dinosaurs kind of enclosure, dried riverbed, that desert kind of theme going on, and using a particular brush, which also was kind of requested to do with this enclosure, to give it that somewhat prehistoric feel. And as well, this would probably go down as one of the simpler enclosures, which would be kind of nice, because then those that are playing on the old generation consoles will be able to follow this one, because I'm not going to highly decorate it with plants that aren't found on the tropical map. So we're going to fill it with sand. I'll just get rid of some of the sand that overlapped. I don't know why. I don't really need to do that. It kind of bothers me ever so slightly. So we are going to add a little bit of water because they do need to drink. So what we'll do is we'll dip it down a little bit, turn off the auto paint because that's getting rid of my my sand. Maybe not have it that deep, but have it like this so it feels like a bit of water is still somewhat here, still remnant. So it's like a dip, like where a deeper part of the river, as it were. So we've done that bit, and then we're going to bring it probably about here for our dried riverbed. Bring it that way, kind of snake it from here like there, kind of not destroy the fence line with it. Try and, like, there we go. Just bring it over, so there we go, that'll do. But then what we'll do, so we don't want it that big. I just realized how big the brush is, so we're going to bring it up like this. We're going to have some hilly areas. This is kind of a dry season, but there's still plants going to be growing. Now, the way I'm going to do this riverbank is like it's just all dirt, and that's like where it's like still some nutrition still there. We'll be adding different dirt areas, rock areas here and there, so it's not just completely beach looking. It's still going to look like that kind of dry sort of area in a sense, but not too dry, not too dry. The sand is going to be somewhat here and there, ever so slightly. Which will just give it a nicer look. So we have our very luscious drying up river area. We'll do a bit of rock like that. Rock, but it's going to be a hilly area. Probably do a little hill over here as well, just to kind of break up the enclosure so it's not completely flat. Just generally tap areas out like so. On that area though, so it's completely raised up a little bit, we'll add ourselves a little feeder there. It's been one of those days for me where I'm going to be constantly mixing up my words. I'm just going to gently tap sand in the drier area, so it's not just all completely dirt. It's kind of like blown into this. So it's a bit of texture padding, as it were. Again, this is going to be one of the simpler enclosures, so then I'm not overfilling it with things. Now, we're going to be using the tropical rock. You can choose if you want to use a desert rock. But like I said, I'm going to try and keep this a simpler build rather than mixing the rocks around. And where we're going to have the rocks, we're going to just do this brush so adds a little bit of extra to it, you know? A little bit of like extra display in a sense. Kind of makes those rocks feel a bit more alive rather than just rock on sand. We're going to be doing it on the sharper areas, like these taller bits here, like here. Because I feel like it makes more sense. Like terrain is having a hard time sticking in those areas. So I have quite a rocky mound here. A little bit of rock here. I think that side's actually alright, to be honest. Maybe there, like that. Yeah, that'll do. Now the brush I'm going to be using is this one here, Saccade Grove. I feel like it has a very interesting sort of very prehistoric look to it, which feels almost right for like when you look at paleo art of like the Triassic. I feel like, oh, it's meant to be removing some of that there. There we go, remove a bit off there. I'm going to be placing it here and there. Yes, it's a bit drier, but this, we could just say on storytelling basis, is one, it was made by zookeepers, and two, it's something that's still surviving. It's not that dry yet. We're just coming to the bit where the water stopped flowing. There hasn't been much rain, so it's a bit low. I'm going to try not do too much, but I kind of really do like the fact that there's going to be areas for them to like disappear into ever so slightly, because obviously Coelophysis isn't one of our taller animals. It's one of our taller species that we have. And I think I'll leave it like that. And then on those areas, we're going to gently sort of stroke in dirt. So obviously, you know, plants, when they perish, they return to the ground and adds all sorts of nutrition to the ground itself. So it kind of makes sense. And this is going to be one of those really mixy habitats, which I really like seeing. It's something I don't always do all that often in my builds, is like gently press brushes to get that kind of mixing. I see a fair few other people, especially on Instagram, doing this kind of thing, and it looks kind of cool. It looks kind of cool. Definitely towards the end bit. So that's going to be our brushing over with. We're going to go onto our rocks, and we're going to use tropical. But again, if you really wanted to, you could use the desert rocks for this kind of build. But I feel like all the different sharp tones mixing with the dark, the green, the whitish yellow sand, I feel it adds like a nice bit of contrast. And when we get some brightly coloured Coelophysis into this enclosure, I feel like it'll look really cool. So yeah, I feel like this kind of build is just, sometimes it is nice to go to basics. Like a lot of the time I feel like I really overdo some of my builds with adding certain things to it and really drastically building up using different layers from different environments. So it is sometimes nice just to go to a basic, like, you know, brush, and then basic, so like the things you'd find on that tropical map, for example. If you're doing it on any other map, then it's down to you if you want to add rocks. But I feel like a rocky landscape just adds a little bit extra to your screenshots if you're very particular about adding screenshots to your, you know, off your park, or just generally like looking at something kind of scenic in the background. Because obviously the Coelophysis are pretty small. They are pretty cutesy. But probably not if you've met them in real life. I feel like there'd be a bit of an issue. But in game, they are cutesy to see. I'm going to try my best not to add too much rock, but we all, I feel like at this point we all know that's going to be a lie. I really do like placing rocks down. I don't know, it's something kind of like therapeutic about it. But nevertheless, we are going to be adding. I really want a nice rocky landscape to sort of break up the green, but ever so slightly blend in with the brown shades of this enclosure. And I feel like it would just look kind of cool. Right. I feel like that's maybe we'll just place one random rock here, just to add a little bit of extra to it. Maybe a bit there, a bit here, and just a little one there, one there. And that's going to be the only rock in that area, anyways. Right. So we'll get ourselves over here, and we'll just fill in like all the little gaps that we've got with these smaller stones. Just so it looks like it's kind of crumbled, if you know what I mean. So like the big rocks are slowly broken apart into these smaller rocks, and then the bits in between are just these really, really tiny little rocks, which is kind of cool looking, in my opinion. Anyways, I enjoy the look of it. It's already looking quite nice with just the big rocks. So adding the little rocks is just going to add that little bit extra to it. Right, let's see. Still try not to overdo it, like, because it's easy to get hung up on spending over an hour placing rocks. I made sync for the new Site B, and yeah, honestly, the amount of time it took me to place all those rocks, I think, was about like an hour or so. If you haven't seen it, go check that video out. It's definitely looking cool on new community Site B. Looking forward to actually putting some dinosaurs into that. But yeah, the new I think I called it Mineral Heights or something like that. I really forgot what I called it. But yeah, we used every single rock that's in the game to give it like a almost rainbow like mounting like kind of look to it from Path of Titans. So it's just multicolored rocks with different passes going through it. So yeah, that was fun to build. That was really fun to build, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, fingers crossed it actually everyone else enjoys the look of it. But yeah, placing rocks is easy to get lost into. That's the short term of this. I was going to add the really smaller rock, but I feel like just doing this is going to be enough. I feel like I won't need as many. Maybe here. But yeah, like I said, this is going to be a dried out river. There's not much water coming through. The plants are just about surviving the drought. And yeah, it's just, I feel like it just makes a nice little enclosure. Definitely gives me back those like callbacks to Walking with Dinosaurs. In 2025, we're meant to be getting a new Walking with Dinosaurs, which I'm absolutely buzzing for. I can't wait. I really wonder how that's going to turn out, all the different storylines, what we're going to see, how they're going to present them. Are they going to be like, see, they added a few of their own wacky ideas to it, which I thought was really cool, and I really did enjoy the creativity of that. For example, how sauropods laid their eggs. That was a really intriguing way. I mean, kind of makes sense. Like, they must have been really hard shell eggs, and there must be some method of them laying those eggs that didn't well end up being a scrambled egg on the floor by the time it dropped out the cloaca. So yeah, it was kind of an interesting. If you've never seen Walking with Dinosaurs, because either you didn't watch it when it came out or you're just that young, I definitely recommend it because it was a really good show, and as it holds up to now. There's a lot of paleo accuracy wrongs in there that were even known at the time, and they just kind of, I feel like they just did it because it looked nice that way. But nevertheless, it still holds out to be a really good show, and it's just really interesting the way they filmed it all, and pretty sure it's the first of its kind to be filmed that way as well. But yeah, anyways, that is it. That's it for placing all the rocks with there. That's the enclosure done. It's just nice, it's simple, it's easy. It didn't take us too long to make. And yeah, I'm going to get the Coelophysis enclosure, make a little bit of a montage for you guys, and I'll let you enjoy that. But as always, thank you for watching. Until next time, I'll see you later.